Fighting to keep their father's killer behind bars. Tonight at 6, a 10TV update will tell you whether their efforts have succeeded.
Scratch B.
It's a day one Central Ohio woman has been dreading for years, the day her father's killer would get out of jail. That's obviously the wrong video for the story that we're leading our newscast with tonight. Good evening, everybody. I'm Andrea Camburn.
And I'm Kurt Ludlow, in for Jerry Revish. Today was supposed to be that day, but the dread has turned to relief. Andy Hirsch has more in a story you'll see only on 10TV.
Never talking about it, ever.
Danielle Jude wanted to see 10TV's coverage of her father's murder back in 1988.
Bobby Bonnell was using a friend's pickup truck Friday night to make a beer run when the stray bullet from a nearby gunfight caught him in the temple.
Danielle was 5 at the time. This picture was taken not long before the murder. 20 years later, she says it's tough to watch that story for the first time. But what was more difficult, reading a letter from the state parole board in January that the man who killed her father, Richard Trent, was set to get out of jail today, about 5 years before serving his minimum 25-year sentence.
It was horrible knowing that I could run into the grocery store, you know, and run into my father's killer or shooter. And, you know, me not living too far from where my father was killed, it was just, it's been kind of nerve-wracking.
Danielle wrote a letter and made calls, even contacted 10TV. But it wasn't until today that she knew Trent's parole was put on hold because of concerns she and her family raised.
It's a great day knowing that, you know, he is going to be able to stay in prison for a little longer.
With only pictures, newspaper clippings, and a pair of her father's boots to remember him by, Danielle will have a chance to go before the parole board and make a case as to why Richard Trent should stay behind bars a few more years, if not longer.
I just don't think it was, you know, fair. You know, we don't have my father, and he still has a whole life ahead of him.
In Columbus, Andy Hirsch, 10TV News.
A date for the parole board hearing has not been set. We did try to contact Richard Trent, but he declined our request for an interview.